What is up, YouTube? I am back again to play some Stealth Master and to yap your ear off. So, we are super close being able to completely level up Snowy and pretty close to being able to have some fun. So, we're going to try to get a couple of levels done, make it easy. Let's grab a pistol and let's get rocking. So, yesterday we spoke about dressing to impress, or i.e., your need to buy a suit. And so today we're going to do, I guess, a natural extension. I guess in my mind, a natural extension of making sure you look good, having good first impressions. So for many of us in the Western world, we have an obesity problem. And guess what? I'm not immune to that. I am fat. I am a giant land walrus. But I recognize that issue, and so I'm in the process of trying to change that. So it means I'm watching what goes into my body. I'm starting to work out more often, and that mostly started back in the end of June. I may have mentioned that at some point in this long line of manhood and masculinity rants. Um, but the reason why I'm talking about this as a natural extension of looking good is because one of the best things you can do about making sure you look presentable to people is just really being healthy, right? This is the only body that you're going to get, and the one that God has blessed you with. So it's our duty and responsibility to take as much care of it as possible because we do not get do-overs. We don't get another body after we have this one. So working out super important, and I guess I want to break it down into two different lines of thought. The first thing being the vanity aspect, looking good, and then the second part being the functionality of just being a man and why that's important. And then I guess if we add a third part in terms of just it being important for other reasons than just looking good. So I start with the first thing for the vanity aspect. So I'm at a point where I'm definitely older. I've never had a relationship. I've never dated. I've never had a girlfriend. Um, but that's more out of choice. It's not the fact that I haven't come in contact with women that wanted to be in relationships with me or have expressed interest. There's been women that have caught my eye, but just really didn't, for certain small reasons, didn't really make the cut. So I chose not to waste their time and waste my time. I'm a person where time is your most valuable asset, so I refuse to waste mine or theirs. Especially when I was in college, I was so laser focused. So that played a role in terms of me not taking relationships very seriously. But I'm at an age now where I'm more settled, and I realize the power of relationships, and I really should have been more intentional back when I was in college, when I was in my early 20s. But you can't get a redo, you can't do it over. But one thing I do keep in mind is that I recognize that women have eyes, they have preferences, and for vanity's sake, I want to be in shape and look good so that my wife is attracted, my future wife, if I have one, is attracted to me. I don't want to be the guy where I got the dad bod. Sure, she'll love me regardless. Some of them will, but I want to make sure that I look good for her and that she's excited to see me. So there's the vanity aspect of it. Sure, I want to look good myself. I think that shows a level of discipline. It shows that you are responsible. You're conscientious. You think of the things that go into your body. You are forward thinking. You think long ahead. You prep your meals. You make sure you schedule your time to go to the gym. All those different things. So I think lots of things come from that. And two, you just look better. You fit your clothes a little bit better. When you have that broader shoulder, you don't need shoulder pads because your shoulders are pretty broad, filling out that jacket, filling out that shirt. Will you ever see me post a shirtless pic? No. I think that's a little bit too much vanity and that's a lack of modesty. No, I don't think modesty is only for women. I believe that men should be modest as well. As a child of God, as a follower of Christ, I don't believe in tempting women into lust. So no, I will not be posting shirtless pictures or wearing really tight shirts to show off my muscles and my definition. Um, So yeah, I'll still be dressing modest and dressing well, but you fill out those clothes a little bit better when you have the right proportions. Now that's the vanity section of things. Now the second part that I was going to talk about was now the health benefits and the not necessarily the health benefits, but the masculine aspect of it. So when we are tasked to be biblical men, or just as how the secular world think about it, as men as being protectors, there's an aspect of strength that comes with that. If you don't go to the gym, or for example, you don't necessarily have to be in the gym. Say, for example, you're working on a farm or you're doing lots of construction, you'll build up some natural strength. And you want to make sure that you actually have the strength to be the protector that you're called to be. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to know how to fight, you have to be able to punch people out. But sometimes by having a more demanding and scary frame where you look like you can knock someone out, that will act as a great reminder for people around the people that you're with, your family, your loved one, your children, your spouse, your mother, your grandmother. When people see you around, they're less likely to try them. And so they act as a good deterrent because of the fact that you look physically fit and available. We're going to get these. Let's grab these and keep it moving. So, so the masculinity part of this is that when we are looking to make sure we're serving our communities well as men, it requires some physical aspect. When people in the Bible were looking to help their brothers and sisters, these men had to be able to help them build houses, put roofs on top of things, make sure they can move heavy stuff, because they may not have the finances to do these things, but they had the know-how, the technical skills, and the strength to make sure those things were being able to be done for the community. And so, from the masculinity part, being able to work out and do those different things serve a purpose. So yes, I don't believe that people who serve God should be so woefully out of shape that they can't do the basic things that God calls for us. And it comes in the form of either protection as being deterrence for people from attacking those who we love, or as being able to chase things down or run away from danger so we can stay alive to continue to provide for our families. And yes, we finally got this guy completely leveled up. Awesome. We'll play one match with him, so that'll be kind of great. Let's look at other stuff and just kind of uh, see what we're gonna go for. I think Shadows might be the next one we want to look at. The hacker. Yeah, so I think we're gonna work with Shadow next, but I don't want to mix up characters in this, so we're gonna keep Snowy and run with him. But besides that, let's go. So yeah, so that's what I want to talk about: the masculinity part of working out and why that's important. Um, Works as a great deterrent, and it gives us the strength, the mobility, the endurance, the stamina to do things that we're called to do, which is sometimes hard labor, lifting heavy things, putting things together, anything of that nature. If the church needs to be rebuilt, if the church needs a ceiling replaced or a roof replaced or a furnace put in, you would hope that yes, we can hire a plumber and all those different things, but we'd also hope that if we can't hire them, we can't afford it, that the men in the church should be strong enough to be able to do those things. Now we get to the carnal and more natural part of things in terms of health. When you work out, you naturally have more energy. It's pretty much a law of physics, right? The law of inertia. An object in motion tends to stay in motion, an object at rest tends to stay at rest. So the more you keep your body moving and motion, working out, strong, primed, you working your stamina, the more you'll be able to do that in your older age. And so the literature shows us that if you're people who are elderly, who have a better quality of life, tend to be people who maintain their muscle mass. So for men, we need to make sure that we keep our muscle mass high, make sure we're always weightlifting, make sure we're always doing resistance training, because it only takes 72 hours. If you're spending 72 hours in the hospital and you're stuck in the bed, typically we're worried about atrophy of your muscles, because it only takes 3 days before your body starts breaking that down for energy. And it takes so much longer for it to be rebuilt. So if you want to live a good and long life where you have a good quality of life, you want to make sure that you build the muscle early and maintain it. Because if you try to wait until you're 60, 50, 70 and try to build muscle then, it'll be significantly more difficult. Do it while you're in your 20s, do it while you're in your 30s, And if you have to, do it while in your 40s. So that way, when you're in your 50s, your 60s, your 70s, and if God allows, your 80s and 90s, you just have to maintain it because it's easier to maintain than to get muscles at that point. And the benefits of that is that you'll have better control of your body, you'll have better core stability, you'll have better balance. And because of those things, you'll just have a better quality of life. You don't have to depend on people doing things for you. And so if God allows you to have that mobility now and you take advantage of it, you can have a bigger blessing. And I always tell people that I want to be like Moses, where the Bible describes him as just as sharp and strong in his 80s as he was when he was 40. And that is a blessing. So take advantage of that and really focus on the resistance training, really build the muscle, build the strength, take advantage of the things that make us men that God has blessed us with, and really run with it. And so I'm going to kind of take advantage of this to kind of talk about my way of training right now. In the past, I used to try to keep it pretty simple. I would do like a push, pull, and leg day. I think that's probably by far the easiest for most people to do. That way it balances if you have a really busy schedule. If you don't, you can still do make it work. So that means you don't have to go to the gym 3 days a week, and then make sure you just, especially if you're overweight like me, try to get extra baseline calorie burning just through extra non-gym or non-workout cardio. What does that mean? The random 10,000 step rule. And 10,000 steps is not a magic holy grail. That number doesn't have any scientific meaning. It's just a number that people pick because it's nice and round. Realistically, most people are probably getting less than 2,000 steps a day. So if you can just immediately get that up to like 8,000 steps, you're starting to already burn an extra few hundred calories a day. If you can earn that extra 300 to 500 calories a day, you do that 7 days a week. That's a pound a week of fat you can burn. And that's way better than just running because it's terrible on your knees, but also you don't get that immediate stark um, raise or elevation in hunger. So when you do slow, controlled cardio where you're just getting more steps throughout the day, it's not going to raise your baseline hunger. So it makes it far easier for you to burn that fat without increasing your hunger and trying to fight from eating more calories than what you're actually burning off. So for me, when I think about my workout split right now is really, really, really simple. The first thing is make sure I walk at least 10,000 steps a day every single day. And the way I do that is I start off my day early. I walk for an hour. Usually, I used to walk around my neighborhood for an hour straight, but now I just do that in the gym. So, because my mom's afraid of dogs, and so we can walk together on the treadmill and probably have a conversation. I prefer to walk out in the neighborhood just because the treadmill is so boring. But needless to say, I want to make sure my mom gets in shape as well. So it's easier for me to convince her to go to the gym than to walk around the neighborhood. So first, get more steps throughout the day without raising your hunger and without increasing calories intake through meals. Second thing is I do break my workouts into a push and pull day, but res- I've reduced it down to the major types of push and pull motions that are going to give me the biggest bang for my buck. And so I'm going for both stamina but strength at the same time. So basically, I've been doing 10 sets of 10 of one motion that I've been trying to perfect and make it very good. So my push days, those are push-ups. My pull days, those are lateral pull downs until I eventually can do chin-ups. And those are the major moves for the push and pull. And then for the leg days, they're squats. And so once I get those, it allows me to master those movements very well. And those are the main power moves that you need to kind of move heavy things and move around with life and give you dexterity and strength that's functional. Yes, I can go around do curls and do all those other things, but they're not really necessary. I just need the major overall strength that's functional, and then add on all the ancillaries, accessories later. But that's all I really want to say for right now. We finally got Snowy all the way up, got a chance to use him, but I have a lot more stuff to talk to you guys. But this is going to basically come down to you feel good, you look good, you'll do well. But until next time, guys.